Hi guys, and welcome back to Bovine Budgeting. I'm sorry that today's video is going to be a tiny bit of a mess. I basically filmed like 10 minutes, and the files just kept... I don't know what was happening. Like, the video would just keep randomly cutting out, and I couldn't figure it out. I eventually figured it out that I only had like 300 megabyte, like 0.3 gigs left, and so I think it kept pausing my video because it didn't want me to take up the full storage. But it was annoying. I couldn't figure out where I left off, so I just decided I'd start filming again. But I have technically done a couple of things already, so it's going to be a bit of an incomplete video, but I don't know. It was too annoying to go back and get everything, but it's okay. I haven't actually done any like proper stuffing yet, so we're all good. I'm going to talk about what I spent last week, last fortnight, and then we'll get stuffing. So what did I do? I spent $9.85 on, and this is Alonzo, just in case you're new to my channel. He is my son. He's my pride and joy, and he sits here and watches us as we stuff. I spent $9.85 on groceries. I spent $2.20 on therapy, got refunded $96.65 from Medicare. I spent $4.43.30 on some ultrasounds. I did 3 ultrasounds, and that was a lot of money. Medicare paid me back $293.30. I was out of pocket $150 for one of them, but my mum was very kind and she covered that, so I was out of pocket nothing, which was very sweet of her. But I still did put it in my spending because it's not even in frame, sorry. I still put it in my spending because I spent it, but I'm not out of pocket that. I spent $10.13 on Lord of the Fries, spent $100.61 on my tithing, which this fortnight went to my friend Bugs. I'll link his GoFundMe in the description. It's basically that he lives in a caravan, an RV. I don't know the word for it. I think it's RV. I would call it a Winnebago, but I think in America it's called an RV. And yeah, it's a mess. It's basically his house, and it's falling apart, and he can't really afford to get it fixed because he is working very limited hours at the moment and like struggling with a small business. There's a whole bunch to it. It says in the description of the GoFundMe, so I'll have more details there, but I figured if anyone's got extra money, if you could chuck it there, that would be wonderful. If not, that's totally fine. If you could spread the word, that'd be good. But anyway, let's see what I did. I spent $330. No, sorry. Oh my goodness, can't read. I did not spend $330 on a gift. I spent $33 on a gift. It was my friend's birthday, and I basically just bought her a 4-pack of some alcohol. It was very nice. And technically, I had one, so I didn't know if I would put it in eating out. But I put it in gifts because I let her keep it at the end of the day because it was her gift, but she just gave me one. Anyway, I spent $190.30 on my Mikey. I spent $14.95 on a Bible study booklet at church. We're doing like a group study, and there's a booklet. You don't have to buy it, but like you kind of have to buy it. So I put it as necessary. I don't know if that was the best way to categorize it. I spent $50 on protein powder. I spent $30 on a CD. When I went to the concert, it was Cigarettes After Sex. Spent $30 on that. And I spent $26.50 on groceries at Coles. It was $155, but I realized that I miscategorized it and I couldn't be bothered rewriting it. So $1,005.51 necessary spending, $83 somewhat necessary, $40.13 not necessary, and only $10.13 of that was eating out. I did so good this week, guys. I'm so proud of myself. So I'll put that away. Bye-bye. This is... Actually, I'm going to bring it back. It's a good writing surface. Come on. Hello again. I put $30 this week to Saving Siblings. So I've now got $375, I believe. I'll count it again for you guys. 100, 200, 250, 70, 310, 30, 50, 70, 80, 95. Nope, I did that wrong. Oh, hang on. Give me a second. I'm going to put one of these 50s away and then count it. 100, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 310, 320, $3.75. There we go. $3.75, so only 25 left in Saving Siblings. This one's linked in the description below. I made this one. It saves 400 if you do this version. I do have a smaller denominations version if you stuff with smaller amounts. But anyway, that goes to investing. So this is all we need. Luckily, I didn't stuff any of this before the video kept cutting out, so I'm just restarting it. I did write this all in, so you're going to miss out on me writing it. But basically, I have some envelopes that I regularly spend from and that I want to have a certain amount in them. I want to have a bit of a buffer in my eating out, because sometimes, like last fortnight, I spent $10 on eating out. Other times, I'll spend like $70 on eating out. And so I want to have it average out to where I've got a bit of room that I can feel safe that I will have money to eat out. Same with clothes, which I technically didn't buy any clothes, but I didn't know where to take the CD out of because it wasn't a gift, it was for me. And I figured clothes is kind of like discretionary spending. I don't know. I spent money on the gifts. I spent quite a bit on groceries. I spent $50 from health, was for the protein powder. I also didn't know where to take the money out of. I was not really groceries. It's for health, I suppose. I put it in health. Car didn't change. So this is what the envelope was when I stuffed it last fortnight, like straight after putting the money in. And this is what we start with. This is what's in the envelopes now. So I put the $30 in Saving Siblings. So I've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, $110 to stuff. Why do I have 110? I should have 120. Hang on. 20, 40, 60, 80, 110, 20, 30. $130. Oh, am I actually done? 20, 40, 60, 80, $100. I put 30 in there. 40. I'm missing $10. Ooh, is it in my eating out? Did I started with, it is in the eating out. Oh my gosh, that's so silly. I was in the middle of putting the money in there. And I forgot what I had done. That's fine. Okay, so we started the envelope with $20. Everyone pretend you didn't see that. Let's recount how much I've got to stuff today. 20, 40, 60, 80, 110, 120. There we go. Oh, this is so much easier. I'm so happy that I have the card where I can get the notes that I want instead of having to like faff about with the 50s and swapping them. Oh, anyway. Well, let's go. So I've gotten this. I cannot remember her name. Let me see if I can find it. I'm just quickly typing on my computer. Unwritten Budgets. I was going to say her name's Hannah, but I couldn't remember her channel name. It's Unwritten Budgets. I'll tag her down below. Go check her out. She's like a fairly new YouTuber. She's been doing it about as long as me, so I feel very connected. We both got a shout out from Mom Wife Budget Life at the same time, so that's how I found her. So yeah, go give her a watch if you haven't. She's also Australian. She's also a fairly young person, and what she does, I thought was really cool, is that she tracks her envelopes monthly as well, and then she writes the like end balance in either like pink if it's gone down or green if it's gone up. And so I figured I would try to do that and see if it works for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write the balance in here, and I'm going to determine if the now value is better than what it was. So not what it started with, because obviously if I'm putting money in the envelope, obviously it's going to be better than right now, but I want to see if it's better than last fortnight. So if the now, which is what I'm going to put in the envelope, if that is better than what it was last week, I'll put it in green. Let me get a green. In green. And if it's still less than what it was last week, I'm going to put it in pink. Because like red is bad, green is good. Pink's actually my favorite color, so to me pink is good, but I know that's not the color code, so it's fine. I'll break it for you guys. Let us go. So I wanted to put 30 to eating out this week and finally get it up to the 50. I had a low oh, ew, that's red. I thought that was pink. Oh my gosh. I should just blindly grabbed it and just assumed it. No, we're doing pink. Pink. I think I must have been saying red or like thinking red, and so I just picked the red and assumed it was pink. But that's all good. I want to put make this 50, so I'm going to do an extra 20 and an extra, oh, see, an extra 10, 20, 40, $50 into eating out. And we've hit our goal. Yes. It will be lower next week. Like, I can guarantee you it will be lower next week, but I'm hoping that it won't be too much lower. I don't know. That's my goal. So now it has, what does it have now? It has $50. 5 and 0. Yeah, I made these little trackers. I think they're so cute, but they did get cut off on the printer at work. Yeah, I don't have my own printer at home, so I print everything at work, and it's a really bad printer. Like, it's good for text, but the colors are terrible. I feel so bad if I'm like printing other people's savings challenges, because I'm like, these look like absolute rubbish, and they're great challenges. They look awesome on the computer. They look terrible when I print them. Clothes. I'm not going to put anything clothes this week. I did want to focus on gifts. Yes, I'm going to focus on gifts. So gifts currently has 35. Oh, I guess, well, 0 is in clothes, so I'm just going to put 0 because it's less than what it was, which was 30 at the end of last week, because I spent that on a CD. Gifts, I've got, what, 20, 35. I'll put 25 in, so 25. There we go. Let me just reorder everything. 20, 40, 50, $60 in gifts. It's not, hang on, let me put that in there. So $60 in gifts. It's not at the 70 that it was, so it's still going to be pink, but it's getting close to that, which is good. I want to build that up while I currently, I don't think I've got any presents to buy for anyone. I do have a couple things I want to get for my friend before I go to America, but that's not going to be more than like $30, I don't reckon. But I want to build it up now while I don't have a whole bunch of birthdays, because other than mine, what's the nearest birthday would be my dad's, which is in July, and then I've got a couple birthdays in August, but until then I'm golden. Okay, groceries. I will put that extra. What have I got? I want to say 30. Okay, I'll put 25 to groceries. There we go. So 20, 25, 30. $30 to groceries, which is, again, lower than the 35, but I hopefully won't have to spend as much at groceries, because I feel like I did a bunch of like really big shops, and so I'll probably just have to get some tofu, maybe some TVP. That's honestly it. Like, I can't think of anything else left to buy, so I'm all good. Health, I'm not going to put anything to health, so it's staying at 90, so it's again going down. I'm also not going to put anything to car. So both of those are staying low, so that one's 90, and that one is 230. So yeah, okay, it's been a bit of a bad week in terms of improving on the float, but I have gotten them all up quite well, I think. I don't know, like, it's not bad. So let me see what I've got. Like, I could put 10 to health, but I kind of really want to put it to Jesmonite. I don't know, I was just thinking about this, and I was like, I really want to do more Jesmonite, which is like a type of stone resiny craft thing. I don't know, so I'm going to put $10 to that. I don't know if that's like bad to do, but I feel like I can wait a bit on health. I feel like I can't wait. Like, I want to build up Jesmonite as soon as I can. Let me see what I'm going to do. Okay. So each of these is $5, so I'm going to colour 2 of them. So 1. I'm trying to think, do I have any other? I guess this green is like kind of pastel-y. We'll go this one. But yeah, I really do want to make some Jesmonite crafts, and then maybe if I can go to a market I could sell them. That would be good. But at the very least, I want to make them. I'm really fast. I loved that class I took. So, yeah, I do want to actually hurry up and get some money so I can buy the Jesmonite. So we're going to do that. Pop that in. Yeah, get in there. And the final $30 is going to go to Sent with Love. I am so close to completing this. I will be done next fortnight, I reckon. If I can spare $30, I'm going to, because I'm sick and tired of this one hanging over my head. This was a concert ticket I bought for my friend, the one in America, and I didn't have the money in my gifts envelope, so I just paid for it with my buffer in my bag. I took money out of my savings for it. And now I don't want to say I regret it, because I genuinely don't. My friend had a really good time at the theatre show, and so, like, ultimately, I'm happy I did, but I wish I'd had the money put aside. I wish I hadn't done it, the way I did. So, each one of these is $7.50, so I'm going to call it 4, and that's $30. But yeah, so I'm trying to avoid that happening again, which is what the whole float. Oh, sorry, I've got something in my throat. That's what the whole float goals are for. But yes, I am so close to finishing this one, and then I won't have to do this again. I'm so sorry. I just had to cut the video. I just coughed so bad. Like, I think I haven't taken my antihistamines in a good week, and I think sometimes the pollen gets in my throat. It makes me cough really bad. Okay. Oh, can't breathe very well. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to hurry up and wrap up this video so I can go take a drink of water. How much is in here? I've got 50, 70, 90, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, $150 to Sent with Love. This is so good. I'm so close to finishing this. Oh my gosh. Okay. Did I count that right? Yeah, I did count that right. I don't know why I thought I counted it wrong. Okay, there we go. That is my stuffings for the week. Oh my gosh, Alonso's just been like spying in the corner. There we go. Hello. But yeah, so I didn't have the best week in terms of spending. I spent a lot. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I did at least get that built up, so that's good. And I did make improvements in gifts, which I wanted to focus on. I did also initially want to focus on clothes, I think, but yeah, with groceries being at $5, like that's more of a priority for me. But yes, yeah, so let me see. I'm going to star the ones I want to work on next week. So obviously I'm going to have to definitely have to work on eating out, because I will spend some money, so I'm going to have to stuff that. Gifts, I reckon we can complete gifts next week. I'm going to do health because I'm going to the optometrist on the weekend. So I don't know if I'm going to spend anything on that, but even if I don't, like, it's $10 to complete it. So let us go. That is what I've got for this week. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely week. I will see you next week for my savings challenges, and then it's almost the end of March. Let me check. When is the end of March? Is it in 2 weeks or is it in 1 week? I can't even remember. It's the 18th. 25th. Okay, it'll be in 2 weeks. But in 2 weeks, I will have my end of month wrap-up video, and I will have my end of quarter allocation into the savings binder. So I'm very excited about that. But that is what I've got. Oh my gosh, can I make a thumbnail that's not ugly? No, all of my thumbnails are ugly. I'm sorry. I don't know how to thumbnail design. That looks terrible. Okay, bye-bye. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week.